Hello, America. Today's show topics include the internet taxman Cometh, the happiest place to live, or the saddest place to die. I don't know. You figure it out. Also, who said that? I mean, seriously, did he just say what I think he said? So sit back, buckle up, and hang on, because, yes, we're just getting started.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey! How are you doing? Wow, what is up? Boy, this is... Woo! That's right. Hey, I'm your host, Daniel Stafford, and that's right, you're listening to or watching, whatever you're doing. You're consuming the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. Tonight, I've already given you the rundown. I don't need to tell you anymore. I want to remind you there are many ways to listen or watch. So, set this channel as a favorite, because if for some strange, crazy reason you do miss the show, listen, I don't want you to get left behind, but have no fear. There's no need to panic because, hey, I've got you. In the case you aren't already following on social media, let me give you this little tip. Head on over to Twitter or Gab and look me up at Stafford Voice. Again, on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice, or you can find us over on Facebook or Instagram or basically any other social site of your choosing, whenever, wherever you're at. Just search for the Stafford Voice and yeah, well, hell, we're probably there. Also, by the way, allow me to introduce somebody to you.
Hey.
What's up? What? Who is that? Who is that masked woman?
It's Miss TSV.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some new hardware. We have put a little bit of investment into another microphone setup. The studio is coming together. Also, the rig that runs the show and everything has gone through some upgrades. Seems like we spent a small fortune on some upgrades, but we're not done. That's right. We are not done. I'm working behind the scenes in all of my extra spare time, trying to figure out and work things out in your favor. We're doing our best to bring you an extremely high quality stream. And in doing so, there's a big learning curve. We've got some software updates and things coming down the pipe, and I'm super excited about them. Anyway. Woo! Yes. By the way, if I'm seeing what you guys are saying in the chat room. By the way, if you haven't jumped over onto the YouTube side of things to check the show out, you're missing the chat room. That's right. You are missing the chat room. We've got Refill in the room. We've got Slick in the house, and Tina and Jessica. Look,
Which Jessica?
Daniel's Jessica, our daughter.
Okay.
Our daughter Jessica. So Jessica's in the house. They are so glad. You got to talk more. Say hi to everybody.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, they can hear you now.
This is so weird.
It's not weird. Just go with it. You and I talk all the time. Finally, listen, okay, and I'm going to address this here in just a second. After I want to give you a rundown of date night was it last night? Yeah, last night.
We were not almost killed either.
Holy crap, we got Double Chunk in the hizzy. What's up?
Oh.
We got Double L.
I was like... Okay.
Double Chunk!
I forgot who that was for a second.
A voice from the background, that's right. Wow, that almost sounded like Alf. Didn't it?
I don't like Alf.
You don't like Alf? How can you not like Alf? Alf was this nice, furry, little fuzzy guy.
He was kind of creepy, like E.T. E.T. scares me more than Alf.
E.T. Okay, E.T. was the hairless cat of Alf.
It was worse than a hairless cat.
How can it be worse than a hairless cat? He's not scary.
He could hide in your stuffed animals and you would never know it.
I really don't understand what you're saying.
But Alf is better than E.T. I could tolerate Alf. I just didn't watch him very often like you did.
I loved Alf. Alf was great. Alf was great. They didn't even know I could do an Alf. Oh my gosh.
I knew you could.
We really need to write down an entire list of the different voices and stuff. But they are just giving you shout outs like crazy in the chat room. Tina says, don't be shy. Jess says, a voice from the background. Double Chunk says, such clear. Tina says Alf and E.T. were both creepy. I have to disagree. I can see.
Tina.
Listen, I can understand. I can honestly understand how you could think E.T. was kind of creepy. He's like the hairless cat of the aliens.
He's worse than a hairless cat. A hairless cat I can tolerate. It's kind of creepy, but it's not as bad as E.T. was just...
E.T. was the hairless cousin to Alf.
I still have nightmares about E.T. and that movie was what, like...
You didn't watch Alf.
I've seen a few episodes, I think, reruns that you've watched, but I wouldn't get nightmares from those.
But, okay, now, honestly, this is great because we've touched on something that clearly our audience likes, okay? Refill says, Alf was better than E.T. That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. E.T. could heal the wound when Elliot cut himself on the saw blade. Alf just ate cats.
Oh, cats, no.
Yes, he wanted to eat the
That's
family cat.
why I don't like
He
Alf.
wanted to eat the family cat. I'm serious. We got to look up old reruns of Alf. You got to start from the beginning to understand and have a love for Alf. Alf was a good guy. He just
I'm still trying
had
to...
a hankering. He had a hankering for a hairball. God. Yes. Double Chunk says the cat knew what it did, and I understand. Do you know this, that Double Chunk's got a thing for punching babies? If you ask him why he want to punch a baby, his response is he knows what it did.
Don't let Gavin hang out with him.
No, Lloyd knows I would whoop his ass. Okay, so Slick says Alf looked like something that should be shot and hung from a fence to warn other Alfs.
So does E.T.
I would say that about E.T. E.T. was kind of creepy. Okay?
E.T. wasn't kind of creepy. He was creepy.
Whatever. We got to get on with the show. We got to,
okay.
Tell them about date night. Look, we totally redeemed ourselves last night with date night. Did we not?
I thought about dinner all day today.
All day.
All day today.
All day.
I even talked about it with my coworkers, too.
I did, too.
One of them.
I did, too. I told them we found a gem kind of out of the way from where we were trying to get, but we had
to go back to Micro Center.
We did. We had to go back to the computer store because Dum here, yours truly, thought that I had all the connectors and the right cables and everything for some of the stuff that we did for the new graphics card. The head of my IT department, aka Double Chunk in the YouTube chat, I'm gonna throw him under the bus. It's a big ass bus too. It's got big monster truck tires. Anyway, no, we're not giving shout outs. Actually, shout outs are only reserved for Friday nights. Friday night show is nothing but shout outs. So tune in on Friday, Refill.
What's going on Friday?
Friday is only, it's like Festivus Friday from Seinfeld, where everybody would air their grievances. Well, so Friday night's show that we do is, you're totally confused right now, aren't you? The look on your face is totally yes, the SHIT department. Anyway, so Slick, pick up what I'm throwing down here. This is in reference to what Refill is at. He wants me to give a shout out to one of his friends. And thanks Refill for referring him, but we don't give special shout outs on the Wednesday night show, only on Friday night show. So you'll have to tune in, Refill, for the special Friday night show for I guess you could call it the hashtag FF show. So yeah, sorry. Hey, there. Is that better? He's trying to mess with me. By the way, where the hell is Army John? He said he would be here tonight. Okay, so he works on Fridays and can't listen. Well, that's okay. He'll be able to watch the replay. We've got him. Okay, so we totally redeemed ourselves. You still look confused.
I'm worried about date night now.
Oh, yes, we got to talk about date night. So we obviously Tuesday nights are date night. The last one, the last really bad date night that we had, I shared with you guys.
It was that we almost died date night.
It was. There was the night that we almost died. And we had crappy service and totally threw the restaurant under the bus. And by the way, it's been 2 weeks now. We have not been back. We'll go back. But last night, we wanted to try something a little different. So we went a little off course and we tried this Korean restaurant. Now, I kind of have... I guess I got a thing for Korean food. Why? I spent 13 months over there. So, we got Nero in the room. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
What the hell was that?
It was to make Daniel.
Oh. Okay.
He can shake right now, I'm sure. Like, oh, Mom.
You gotta talk louder.
He's probably shaking his head going, oh, Mom.
He probably is. Anyway. Okay. So, I tried to totally redeem myself from the abysmal date night from 2 weeks ago. So
Was it your fault?
It wasn't any of our fault. Between the cops not pulling anybody over and doing their job, to the guy almost killing us, and the abysmal service, decent food.
It was good food.
It was good food. It was. It was very good. So we tried this Korean restaurant, and I was a little skeptical. For me, the test for a Korean restaurant is the go-to dish, which is bulgogi. It's like a beef. It's like shaved beef almost. It's beef sliced really thin, right?
It's heaven.
And it's basically their version of barbecue. They call it Korean barbecue. And then all of the various different types of kimchi. Oh, we had what?
It's like little salads, like zucchini salad. There was kimchi. There was fish pancakes.
Yeah, they call them fish cakes, but it's basically like it's a noodle, and they use a fish sauce to help make the noodles.
But my brain was thinking fish.
Your brain was thinking fish, but there was actually no fish in it. I tried to tell you that.
I let Dan finish it. He could have the rest. I ate just a few bites.
Anyway, it was good. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. So, they bring us out our little fried dumplings. They're called yakimandu. Let's see. Refill says if we can keep Daniel talking about funny names and date night, we can keep him off the tax subject. It'll only piss him off. No, we're gonna cover this, and I'm gonna explain why here in just a second. So they bring us out our fried dumplings, our yakimandus. Absolutely fantastic. I was blown away. So I was thinking, literally, I'm thinking this is gonna be fantastic. Then they bring out all of the kimchi. Then they bring out our little tiny bowls of rice, which was perfect. It's like a tiny little handful, basically.
It looked like our cat's bowl of food.
But, like, extra large size. It was taller on the sides.
Yeah, but I kept thinking we were eating out of the cat's bowl of food.
We weren't eating out of the cat's bowl.
It looked like her bowl.
It kind of did.
But anyway.
Anyway.
Then they brought out the entree.
Okay, guys, getting her a microphone was a bad idea. Why did I ever listen to you guys?
Why did you listen to me? I'm the one who thought, well, hey, maybe.
Maybe it was a good idea.
And you were like, huh.
Well,
you thought about it?
Yeah.
And then you said, hey, let's go get a microphone.
So we did.
And I was like, well, are you sure?
Yes. Now you're starting to understand how much fun this is. Anyway, because their input is important.
Thank you.
Nero's on your side.
Nero's
playing the good kid.
I'll make you some cookies.
For the last 20 years, he's been playing bad kid.
He's been a good kid.
He has. He's been a great kid.
He just became a teenager and he had to test his limits, like any teenager. But he's a good kid now. He dresses his kid up in sporting KC stuff.
He does.
When mom's at work.
You can tell. Listen. Okay, you can tell who dressed the kid. You can tell. If it was Jess, she would have dressed him in this cute little outfit, and he would have looked adorbs. Daniel, no, puts him in a sporting KC onesie.
At least it's a onesie for a baby and not like a t-shirt for a child.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't put him in like an extra large, like a man-sized shirt.
But he dressed the baby and he fed the baby. He took care of the baby.
And changed the diapers, and hopefully
Mr. Dad
it was
today.
really bad and made him gag, and he was like, oh.
Man.
A majestic onesie. Oh, God. I swear. Okay, here's what I want you guys to do. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to fill up Double Chunk's Twitter feed with the word majestic. If you guys can do that, let's just show him some majestic love from hashtag TSV show. Just tag Double Chunk. It's Double Chunk with no E. DOUBLCHUNK. At Double Chunk on Twitter. If you're over on Twitter, let's hammer him with some majestic awesomeness. He loves that word majestic. Every time I get together with that guy, he has to say the word majestic. Every time he has to talk. By the way, Refill, I'm working on it, and I have not forgotten you. I told you it's going to be, we're working on it. So it's going to fit the new/old format. Are we done talking about date night?
The entree came out and you said it tasted just like when you were in Korea.
It was fantastic. It tasted just like when I was over there.
I'm glad you shared.
I did. I gave you half.
That's how you know you love me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I share my food.
Nobody stabs anybody.
No, I'm not going to stab. Okay, I have ways of making bodies disappear. Okay? I have ways of making bodies disappear.
So is this a great lead-in for taxes?
No. Because before that, here's what I got to do. I need to address something. If you're a long-time listener, and some of you guys are, Jess, Nero, Double Chunk for the most part, but Slick and Tina have been there for I don't know how many years. Almost since we started this show. If I remember right, Slick and Tina are one of our longest listeners, and they will understand where I'm coming with this. Here's the thing. This has kind of been bothering me. With the show, we've had a lot of fun over the last couple of weeks. I think everybody in the chat room and whoever else is listening out there, wherever you are, I think you guys would agree. We've had a lot of fun talking about some of these topics, but the show, the format of the show that we've kind of worked our way into is not so much what we started with. Sure, we've had a lot of fun. We've learned some things along the way. Most of it is things that we knew but obviously didn't want to talk about because they're just so utterly stupid and disgusting. But here's the thing. when we started this show, it was all about, okay, here's the issues. Now, how do they affect you? We talk about current events and politics and all of that stuff, but what it really boils down to is how they affect you. How do these issues, day in and day out, affect you, affect me, affect anybody else near us? Okay? And that's what we've done for the last 2.5, almost 3 years. As of lately, what we've been doing is we've been highlighting some of the stuff that is newsworthy, but yet not so much. We've been just having a little more fun than normal. We've kind of we've moved a little away from the whole how does this affect you? And so what we're going to do is we're getting back on course, and we're starting tonight with this particular topic, and it's kind of the lead for what the show is, and that is the internet taxman is coming. So the whole thing about internet tax. Now, I don't know if Miss TSV, do you know a lot about internet tax? No, not really, do you?
No.
So, here's what we're going to do.
For that much off the internet,
We really don't. But this has a bigger impact, I think, than a lot of people are willing to admit to. So, let's talk about some of this, and if you have a question, feel free to stop me. I mean, interject and say, look, stop. I don't understand this. So let's figure it out, because this particular topic, I think, is something that's going to get a lot more interest over the next year or two. And I think that as long as we can stay ahead of the curve with stuff like this, then we're going to be prepared. We can prepare ourselves. So the whole idea of the cost of online shopping, okay? And refill, that's a whole different topic, I think, the fair tax plan. I mean, that's something that that could be a worthwhile topic in the future, various tax plans. But we're going to take a look at the cost of online shopping, which is this whole idea of internet tax. And why is this becoming an issue? Well, earlier this year, just a couple of months ago, President Trump, he does what he does best, and that is to get online and on Twitter, and he tweeted out, I quote, "Amazon is doing great damage to tax-paying retailers. Towns, cities, and states throughout the U.S. are being hurt, many jobs being lost." Here's another side to this. The court system. Courts are going to wind up being the ultimate decision maker on this. States that have long complained about missing out on sales tax revenue are suing or passing laws to take on online retailers. Case in point, litigation includes South Carolina, which recently sued Amazon over what it claims is $12.5 million in lost sales tax revenue from third-party sellers, while 3 other online sellers sued South Dakota over its tax law, and 2 grade groups sued Tennessee. Republicans advocating for taxation, in part to, quote, this is according to a Fox News article, this is what they said, that some Republicans are advocating for taxation in part to level the playing field for other companies. That doesn't sound like it fits, like it really does fit the Republican platform, per se. Does it? No, I mean, the Republican Party is the party that says less taxes, right? I mean, nobody wants to pay more taxes. No. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There are two different bills in Congress. There's a bipartisan Marketplace Fairness Act in the Senate, which allows states to require online retailers to collect state sales taxes if they simplify tax administration. Now, there's the other one, which is in the House, No Regulation Without Representation Act, prohibits states from imposing sales tax collection requirements on businesses with no physical presence in the taxing state and no vote in the representation that would implement such a tax. Now, let me echo what Slick just said. Level the playing field is straight up lib talking point. It is, but that's coming from Republicans. Republicans, and this goes into something that we're going to hit on later, for a lack of a better term, who said that moment for tonight. So, and Refill says, so is pay their fair share. I don't like either phrase anymore. Way overused. It's true. I mean, here's where I have a big problem. Where states are crying. Look, here's the bigger picture. Our country, the United States of America, just surpassed $20 trillion in debt. Can you fathom that? Do you have an idea of $20 trillion?
That's way Amazon makes, right?
It is. It is ridiculous. I mean, how are we going to pay this off? Does it sound like an easy plan?
No.
No. I mean, it's an easy idea it's easy to pay off your credit cards, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to pay down a credit card. It's not easy to come up with an idea to where you can start to clear out $20 trillion in debt. And Slick says it's nearly 4 times all the money in the world. All of the richest people in the world. I mean, I don't even know if they can pay it off. They can't. We can print money all we want. And ultimately, that's kind of what the government, the Treasury does, is they print more money and they just devalue it. So your dollar really isn't worth $1. It's basically worth or pennies on the dollar. So let's go back to the idea of the courts getting involved. It would take an act of Congress to address the matter if the Supreme Court doesn't overturn a key ruling in Quill Corp versus North Dakota, which stipulates states can't collect sales tax from remote sellers unless a retailer has a physical presence or a quote-unquote nexus in that state. So what they're arguing is if you're an online retailer, say, let's use a good example. Say you're in the holster business. You manufacture conceal and carry holsters. I mean, a lot of our audience is a conceal and carry permit holder. We carry. Some states offer open carry. You need a place to carry your sidearm, right? Right. Guys don't have the same ability or option that they can have a conceal and carry purse. So an online retailer based out of Texas has a website, is manufacturing a high quality holster. Somebody in California, I don't know how. I don't know how somebody in California would be able to qualify for a conceal and carry. I thought only liberals lived there, and they don't like guns because, hey, they're scary.
Guns kill people.
Guns kill people, and just as bad as forks and spoons make people fat. You don't need a fork or a spoon to pick up a cheeseburger, but anyway. So what they're saying is basically, and Slick, I sorry, you were just the first thing that popped into my head as I'm watching the chat. But so say this retailer, this online website, this website based out of Texas sells something in California. What these people want to do is force that retailer to pay a tax, to pay a sales tax in California, just because there was a product sold in California. Now, the other argument is, well, now what they mean by the one in North Dakota, where the Supreme Court may have to step in and try and overturn, is this Quill Corps versus North Dakota, which says that a state can't collect sales tax if they don't have a physical presence, or basically that's what they call a nexus. So if I say the word nexus, it's because we're referring to a quote-unquote physical presence. So you have to have storefront. So this tiny little pop-up vendor in California would have to have a marquee on top that's Quality Holsters from qualityholsters.com, based out of Texas. Then California can collect a sales tax because that particular transaction would go through the state of California. Now we're getting into mind-blowing pudding brain stuff. And yes, sorry, Slick, I need to correct myself. The retailer does not pay the tax. It's collected from the consumer. The consumer is the one that pays the tax. However, the consumer is the one that gets hit twice over. Why? Well, I order a holster from this particular company. Not only do I have to pay a sales tax because I ordered a holster online, I'm having to pay extra for a quality holster because the retailer has to now go out and have a tax attorney in each state to make sure that all of these particular states' laws are being done correctly. So the idea of just forcing people to collect force of states stepping in and saying, nope, 50 states are broke. Our country is broke. We need more money. This is a nightmare. And so, stick with me here. So if the retailer has to have a tax attorney, and even more than just a tax attorney, you're going to have somebody. There has to be a tax preparer in that state, because otherwise your tax person in, say, hypothetically speaking, since we're talking about having an online presence in Texas. So your tax guy is based in Texas. Well, your tax guy isn't qualified to do taxes in Kansas or Montana or Maine. He's not, unless he goes to each one of the 50 states and gets licensed to practice tax collection in 50 states. Same thing with a lawyer, with a tax attorney. That tax attorney is then going to have to go out and they're going to have to pass a bar in 50 different locations throughout the United States this would shut down a ton of online retailers. It would. Either that or what Slick is saying, you relocate offshore, and that way all of your sales are international. And that's true. You have to include DC. So you've got 51. And now if you want to include, I don't know if Puerto Rico or any of those other ones down there pay. So yes, we got Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and Guam. There we go. You can't go to either one of those and set up a presence. Are you starting to see how this really impacts you? So if you really want to make it in the online industry, if this was to go through, it's going to cost the retailer out of its you-know-what. It's going to cost that retailer out the you-know-what, and it's going to drive the cost up. It's going to price out this high-quality product out of the market. And they're going to have to shut their doors because they can't compete with the big boys. They're not going to be able to compete with Amazon or Walmart or Target. Target can't even keep up with Walmart.
A lot of those retailers can't keep up with Amazon because Amazon's kicking their butts.
Well, I mean, just recently, Amazon acquired Whole Foods. I mean, now I understand that what they think is going to happen is that this is going to hurt a company like Amazon. It's going to hurt the big.
More than just Amazon.
It's not going to hurt Amazon. It's not. I mean, be honest. It's not going to hurt Amazon one bit. It's not. Why? Why would it not hurt Amazon? I'll tell you why. 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes, what? 10 or 15 minutes south of where we are in the studio, right? Just right down the road.
Yeah.
10 to 15 minutes down the road is I can't remember I think it's somewhere in the range of 200,000 to 400,000 square foot Amazon shipping facility going in. Every state is going to start having these big, ginormous Amazon warehouses, and they're just going to ship straight from there. Amazon is preparing for this. They're looking ahead and realizing, wait, if this stuff goes through, we've got to be able to protect ourselves, and we've got to be able to protect our sales. So the cost of an Amazon product is not going, something that you purchase through Amazon, the price isn't going to go up unless it's a third-party retailer using Amazon services. But the thing is, it's not going to hurt Amazon because Amazon has already established a place in that particular state, and all they have to do is record some more income. They have to record some incoming taxes and send it to the states. That's our big topic for tonight. That's our big topic and how it affects you. Guys and gals, men and women, children of all ages. We could go into further depth on this, but I think the point is made that we have to stay vigilant on things like this. We have to. And that's how an internet tax affects you and I. Okay? I don't know if you guys like this format, but that's where we're going. Now, let's have a little bit of fun, shall we? How about where the happiest people live? Huh? Here, why don't you cover this one?
What?
Yeah. You cover it. Where are the what are the top 5 happiest places to live.
Okay. The top.
What's give me number 5.
Number 5 is my home state, Nebraska.
What?
Yes.
Nebraska was number 5. Okay, number 4. Give me number 4.
California.
Don't want to. No.
California wasn't bad.
California wasn't bad. If you remove all of the liberals, it's a great state. Go on. Number 3.
Hawaii.
I've never been to Hawaii.
I have not either.
Do you want to go?
If I have a chance to go, I wouldn't mind, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I really have to go to Hawaii. I don't have that urge.
And actually, I tell you what, here's what we'll do. Here are a couple of other interesting things about some of these states.
Do you want me to go through number 2 and 1?
Yeah. What was number 2?
Utah.
So the second happiest state to live in is Colorado, or it was what?
Utah.
Utah. Interesting. What's number 1?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. What?
Minnesota, Utah, Hawaii, California, and Nebraska.
Okay. Now, remember those states. Okay, so the lowest share of adult depression. Number 1, the highest state with the lowest share of adult depression, these people are not depressed at all. Hawaii. Number 2 was New Jersey. Number 3, California. Number 4, Illinois. And tied for 5th place was New York and Virginia. Now, you would say, what is the worst state to live in if you have adult depression? The worst state, Oregon. Number 49 was Maine. Prior to that was Arkansas. How about
Kansas?
I don't want that state. It's a pain in the butt to drive around in. Okay, let's see. Refill wants to talk about Colorado. Here's one. Here's one for Colorado. Oh, this is two good ones for Colorado. Highest adequate sleep rate. So these guys are getting the best sleep.
That's because
The best sleep. The number 1 state to go to for the best sleep, what do you think it is?
It's Colorado.
Did you look at it?
You know, you were talking about it just a second ago.
It is Colorado.
That was called being observant.
You're keeping up. I like it.
Only have until like 10 o'clock, and then
And
glass
then you're
slipper
done?
turns around something else.
Okay, well, Nero, a.k.a. the son, the man-child,
Aww.
he said he would love to live in Colorado. I wouldn't mind living in Colorado.
Why does he want to live in Colorado? Is it because of the scenery?
I think it's probably because of the scenery, and also they have magic tournaments out there.
Oh.
Tournaments.
Okay.
Second best state to get good sleep, South Dakota. Number 3, Minnesota. Number 4, Montana. Number 5 was Nebraska. Because it's boring as hell.
I still don't get enough sleep.
Nope. How about crappy sleep? The worst state to try and get good sleep. This came as a shocker. Did you know this one?
Is it Kansas?
No!
Oh.
It's Hawaii.
Oh.
A beautiful tropical place from what everybody says. Hawaii. You
could
get
sleep with the windows open and
you
listen
get
to the ocean.
You get the worst sleep.
How could you get the worst sleep when you
That
can
would
hear the
knock
ocean?
me the hell out. Would
Be
knock me out.
relaxed.
Here's one. Highest participation for sports, Colorado was number 1. Oregon was number 2, and Washington was number 3. California 4, Utah 5. The lowest sports participation rate, number 50, was Mississippi. 49 was Arkansas. Number 48, I hope Rowdy Rick Robinson's not listening. Oklahoma. Oklahoma. You were reading my mind on that one.
You were reading my mind.
Okay. I found these interesting. States with the lowest suicide rate. You want to guess what number 1 was?
Was it the New York?
It was New York. It was New York. New York has the lowest suicide rate. The highest, Wyoming. I would have never guessed. The highest state with for suicide rate was Wyoming. And refill, here you go. 49 was Alaska.
Alaska has lots of issues.
Alaska does have a lot of issues.
They do.
I found this rather interesting also, was ranked 46th, Utah. Which I don't really understand because the state with the fewest work hours, number 1, Utah.
Number 2, Oregon.
What the hell are you reading off of?
The paper you gave me.
You're stealing my thunder.
Sorry. I'll let you read number 3.
The thunder from down under.
And 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, number 3 was Rhode Island. 4 was Massachusetts, and tied for 5th place was Michigan and Vermont.
What?
The most work hours. Number 50 was Alaska. Would you have... earlier when we were talking about this, would you have guessed that it was Alaska?
No.
Let's see. 46 was Louisiana, 47 Texas, and then tied for 48th was a tie between North Dakota and Wyoming. Probably why they have such a high suicide rate. If you're looking for the lowest long-term unemployment rate, sorry, I was trying to keep up with what was saying. Slick says that New York has the lowest suicide rate because everyone's getting popped in a drive-by before they can off themselves.
Well, this paper here says New York, which is known for its tough personalities,
Yeah,
had the fewest suicide rates.
I really don't know. I didn't really dive too far.
Maybe it's because they feel more comfortable expressing themselves than you. I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's just my thinking, which could be bad
It can be bad, especially this late at night.
when I'm about to lose my glass slippers.
Now, what about the states with the lowest long-term unemployment rate? Number 1 was North Dakota. Number 2 was Alaska. Number 3 was Iowa. Oh, by the way, I forgot I did. Where were these results coming from? What was it? These stats are coming from WalletHub.com. They put this together every year. WalletHub.com. They put these stats together. So the highest long-term unemployment rate was number 50 was New Mexico. Highest income growth, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Oklahoma, and Alaska. The lowest income growth was Nevada, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, California. The highest volunteer rate, this should come as no shocker, Utah. We all know how Mormons love to volunteer for stuff. Let's see, South Dakota was number 2, Minnesota was number 3. Lowest volunteer rate, I don't know about this. Florida. Oh well, they're probably old as hell. That's probably why they don't want to volunteer.
They have to have dinner and everything by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so they can go to bed.
And that's late.
Maybe I should retire to Florida.
I don't know. I mean, by the way, those hurricanes that came through, I feel so bad for those people. I mean, there's those people out there. They're on day 4 or 5 of no power. I feel so bad. But yeah. Oh, the cat. Shut up.
She's been awfully
You
whiny.
don't get a microphone. You're a cat.
Since we watched Gavin, she's been whiny.
But no, I really do. I feel bad for everybody down in Florida and along the coast down there in the Gulf. They got hit really hard. But Florida, lowest volunteer rate. I don't know about that. I know some really good people down in Florida, and they're stand-up people. Let's see, 49 was Mississippi. 48 was New York. The lowest divorce rate, Utah. And then we had North Dakota, New Jersey, Minnesota, and Hawaii. The highest divorce rate, Nevada. That should come as no shocker.
They probably have the most marriages there, too.
They probably do have the most
Because of
marriages,
all
but
the
we didn't want
jobs.
to. They didn't put that stat out.
No, they didn't, did they?
Apparently,
None
the
of them.
safest state to live in. Do you know this one? You don't have that on your little cheat sheet,
I
do
don't.
you?
You didn't give it to me.
Nope.
Is it Utah?
No, it's Vermont. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
state called Vermont.
I know.
Maine came in as the second. Number 3 was Massachusetts. The least safest state to live in. Mississippi. Following then 49 Louisiana, 48 Oklahoma. Really? I'm intrigued by that. They say 46 was ranked as the least safe. Apparently, we don't need to be traveling through Missouri.
Where's Kansas?
I don't know. It wasn't on there. Okay. We have just... What state do you guys forget the most? Idaho is generally a forgotten state. You can't forget about Idaho. They make potatoes.
Idaho is not anywhere on these.
Okay, it's not. But you know what? We actually have something along the lines of a who said that. And really, I'm thinking myself, when I read what he said, I thought to myself, did he really just say what I think he said? Quote, I couldn't, this was mind-blowing. We will repeat again the obvious. The Republican Party has been in the minority for 7 years. The Republican Party has been bitching about how bad the Democrats are on health care and taxes and just about everything else. And yet here we are almost done with the first legislative year of the Republican Party owning Washington, D.C., having a monopoly, and not only do they not have a health care plan, not only were they not able to repeal Obamacare, they can't even come together on a tax reform plan again 8 months in. Any takers? No, it was not Bernie Sanders. It was none other than Joe Scarborough from Morning Joe on MSNBC. I was completely shocked and beside myself. Completely beside myself when I realized that Joe Scarborough was the one that was like a voice of truth and reason finally. I mean, he said some okay things in the past, but this one was spot on. So, that guy's a huge douche, Slick. I completely agree. Anyway. Okay, here's what I need from you guys. Whatever your medium is, Facebook or Twitter or wherever, what I would like to hear or see from you guys is if you liked us bringing back we tried to make our old format new again. We tried to make our old format great again. Making old formats great again. Did we make that happen? I don't know. I think we had a lot of fun tonight. We learned some stuff. Sadly, that annoying beep is telling us that's all the time we have for tonight. I'm so sorry. We had a lot of fun. But being able to get back to our roots and take a topic and share with you guys how it affects us, because that's really what this is about. I want you guys to be armed.
Educated.
And educated. Thank you. That was a great word. Good word usage. High five.
And now it's gone.
Yeah. Now that thought process was gone. The high five killed it. We can't do that anymore. No more high fives. Write that down.
No.
What? Don't tell me no.
We gotta have high fives.
Okay, we can have high fives.
High fives
but
make you happy.
We need to work on this desk right here. I'm getting tired of that. I don't like turning around and looking at you.
Do you need me to have a chair?
We gotta do something. We'll have to do something. Anyway, I guess I'm completely stupid right now on MOFGA. You may have to spell that out. I don't know. I'm not going to give that a-hole a shout-out, Refill. No, that guy's an ultra-lib. Anyway, look, we got to wrap this up because the other affiliates and whatnot that replay the show make old formats great again. Okay, I got it.
Oh.
Okay, here's something. I was going to give you a teaser about next week, but I'm just going to leave that out there. I want it to be a surprise for you guys. Anyway, that is unfortunately all the time we have for this week. And God willing, the Stafford Voice will be back next week. Follow me on Twitter at Stafford Voice or on Gab as well. You can look me up on Facebook or Instagram, searching for the Stafford Voice. Email your questions, comments, and or concerns to thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Again, thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Look, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. You guys are more than friends. You guys are family. This was one hell of a good show. Until next time, thanks and God bless.